So welcome everybody to the Virtual Roundtable's OpenSim Symposium. Yes, we didn't call it Virtual World, we called it OpenSim because the focus is on OpenSim. And I'm very grateful that Helena is going to present her OpenSim creations here at the Virtual Roundtable. And thank you very much for doing this. Helena is located in Greece. She holds an RSA diploma and an MA in ELT and certifications in the skills of teacher training. She has been blending and flipping her classes in virtual worlds. She's taught EFL and trained teachers for Indire on Edmondo. And she has a most wonderful sim in OpenSim. OpenSim being the overarching, but one of the providers is called Kitely. And during the EVO session, she was a moderator, and we'll be talking a little bit more about the EVO session when it's my turn. Over to you, without further ado.
Hello, everybody. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for coming. My name is Helena Galani, as Heike has just announced. I'm going to be presenting on innovative teaching through virtual worlds to establish differentiated instruction and learning pedagogy in ELT. You may be thinking, oh my God, all these terms. Well, let me explain. We seem to be facing a new reality nowadays about the new school. What's it going to look like? How traditional is it going to be? And how remote? Is it going to look like this? What has the pandemic taught us? Well, obviously, there is need for a ubiquitous classroom because our focus and priority is safety for our students, whatever their age may be. And the second priority is positive education. Based on survey findings that we carried out during the EVO session this year around immersive language learning in virtual worlds, on which I was moderator, we realized that most of our participants preferred using OpenSim for their classes. Heike is going to tell you more about this. So we need an environment supporting our learner quest for affirmation, contribution, power, purpose, and challenge in the classroom, whatever form this may take, according to Tomlinson. Here is a picture of my ELT Treasure Island on Kitely, which I designed or I created, whichever verb you want to use, especially for my younger students. They don't have to pay anything in order to create an account. And I can always lock the island specifically for our group, which is called ELT Learner Factor. So let's focus thinking out of the box a little bit. What is it we get through teaching on a virtual island? It is synchronous, asynchronous, like a lot of other forms. It can be face-to-face, my student's avatar with my avatar, definitely online. They've got blended learning, we can flip the classes. It helps us resolve the crisis of the pandemic, and my students are provided ubiquitous homeschooling at any time. I find this the ideal way from moving from dogma to dogme to differentiated instruction, focusing on pedagogy. This kind of approach of one-size-fits-all kind of dogma, as contrasted with differentiated instruction, seems to me the ideal key to approaching students. The key goal of differentiated instruction is maximizing the learning potential of each student, Tomlinson suggests. Let's give our students opportunities for dogme ELT, which leads to pedagogy, as I see it, which means independent, self-directed learning. Just a few words about dogme ELT. but you can find more information about it based on Thornby's analysis and Dennis Newson's mini presentation on EVO this year. I'm going to provide with links at the end of the session, of this presentation. So the idea is skip the textbook if you can. Reflective teaching is a priority. Try humanizing your classroom a little bit more. Make it a little bit more personal. Give your students an opportunity for interaction, for production, for collaborative construction through communicative tasks. And Thornbury Scott focuses on 10 key principles, which I do not intend to go through in detail at the moment. But the idea is that there needs to be more interactivity between teachers and students. Students are engaged by content they create by themselves, which is actually what we do on virtual worlds. And in this particular case today, on Kitely, OpenSim, there's dialogic processes taking place, scaffolding conversations, language and grammar emerge from the learning process. We optimize language learning affordances. We recognize learners' beliefs and knowledge. They are given opportunities for freedom from publicized materials and textbooks. Of course, this does not have to be a kind of dogmatic approach for you. You can always vary it. You can always choose the level at which you use your course book. There's relevance of materials, texts, audios, and videos based on your learners' preferences, background, age, needs, educational needs. And material is used in a critical way. Well, so the objective here when we teach is pedagogy. This is the study of self-determined learning. It's about learning knowing how to learn. It goes beyond pedagogy and andragogy. Based on Hazy and Kenyon's suggestions, research, there's learning from novel experiences. There's focus more on knowledge sharing rather than on knowledge hoarding. Problem solving, proactivity is the key to pedagogy. And learning is not necessarily planned. There's focus on creativity, collaboration, and competencies and capabilities. All this comes together on a virtual island. Differentiated instruction is about focusing on processes, products, the learning environment, and the content. And I will give you more details as the presentation unfolds. Take, for example, a game Spark that I have created for my students in World, as we say, on ELT Treasure Island. There's a box up in the sky where students can go and play games based on either skills, practice, or grammar or vocabulary, consolidation, revision, whichever aim you want. It can be through machinima making, the process of machinima making. You can find out more about this on the Camelot Project European Union site on the internet. And I will provide some links at the end. So differentiated instruction. Well, in the background, you can see a bird's eye view of the ELT Treasure Island. It's very romantic, isn't it? You can always adjust the environment settings and change the light. And you can make it, you can create the kind of atmosphere you want for your lessons. The teacher is ready to engage students in instruction through different learning modalities by appealing to different interests, by using varied rates of instruction and varied degrees of complexity. The point is that there is always continuous need to sorry, actually, I skipped the page, to address individual differences, styles, intelligences, and this is ideally done in a virtual world. I'll show you some tasks and you will immediately understand. We vary the rate of instruction. We engage and challenge students in different ways by personalizing user control, by providing accessible spaces. It is an accessible space with their avatar and the Firestorm viewer. They can always log in at any time, wherever they may be. It's a positive environment, it's supportive. And we focus on constant needs analysis if we want to differentiate instruction by providing flexible homework and assessment, which is not threatening. Here's a sample task. The picture is from the World of Art, which is an ecological building that one student has thought of. So the point is, the task is decorate your art gallery, find information about the exhibits, insert it in tags or primitives, as we say, as we call them, for visitors to read. Primitives are objects in a virtual world. Take visitors around the gallery tour. Another sample task and learner project focusing on content and language integrated learning around history. The task was to collect information about a local hero, and being in central Greece, everybody thought of Leonidas and Thermopylae, which is monument nearby, a location, a historic location nearby, signifying a historic event that has even influenced the West. You can find more information about it online, the battle in Thermopylae. So the task involved taking photographs of the statue, the springs, the location, and compiling the information into a virtual interactive book. Then students can record their voice with information and upload in an object. In this case, they collected information about balneal therapy in the area, which is very popular. The waters seem to have therapeutic effects, so we have a lot of visitors for that reason, for that purpose. And students can visit the simulation with their avatars to discuss the findings and play games. Another task you can provide is for recycling and exam practice opportunities. You know, students always do this. They focus on gapped sentences. So you see, you can pitch the level as you like, depending on the nature of your classes. If you've got exam-orientated classes, don't be afraid to do it. I mean, it is not strict. It is not prohibitive to focus on gapped sentences. Students upload the image, or the teacher uploads the image. They collect the insert, or the teacher inserts the script. They play the game anytime, and it doesn't have to be with the teacher, in the presence of the teacher. So there's a lot of technology involved in virtual worlds. You can activate, you can make use of scripts and animations. I'm providing some open scripts that you can find online. And there are simple ways of inserting the script in the contents of an object so that it changes, the object, I mean, changes texture, or it becomes a dice, or the object gives a note card or a texture, or it behaves like a slide. Another sample task for speaking skills, for discussion skills, is working with NPCs, which is non-player characters, chatbots. Students can collect responses to insert into the contents of the in this case, the parrot, Coco the parrot, or the avatar. Well, it's actually not an avatar. It's non-player character. It doesn't move. It looks like a man, and you can have dialogues with this chatbot. Some more tasks here. This was based on the Toadstool Cottage on the island. And we are given the opportunity to blend with online tools in order to produce a role play. For example, take this situation. Snow White is coming over for a meal at your Toadstool Cottage. What menu will you prepare for her? What will you be wearing? Prepare your avatar, make the table for 8 and act out the conversation at the table for a machinima. Or get the game code to play a game on Join My Quiz, which is an external online site. There are a lot of non-budget online tools that you can insert in objects in a virtual world. And a lot of ideas have been offered during these 2 days in this symposium, in this conference. So how do you help your students differentiate their learning experience through content? You can vary the content without losing sight of the curriculum. You can prioritize learning objectives. You can recognize different challenges that they may be facing. And by this, I refer to learning challenges. Reaching the needs of an increasingly diverse population is the goal of differentiated instruction. And varying the complexity level is a characteristic throughout a course, as well as varying tools. So processes is also another central focal point on differentiated processes of teaching. We allow the learner the choice of topics, essays, prompts, tasks, techniques, anything you can think of. They have a say, they have a word, they have a choice. Students select their favorite activity on the island and they make a similar one based on the aims of the lesson. They can work individually or mixed. In mixed ability groups or same ability groups, in pairs. They can move around the island to sit on the spot and observe if they're not very much into producing a lot of work, you know. They always receive some kind of stimuli and brainstorm and take initiative to produce their own work. We base decisions on students' levels of readiness and group dynamics. So again, there's need to vary the task to maintain interest and increase motivation during differentiated instruction processes. Demonstrating flexible teacher thinking is the idea. And there's a lot of scaffolding based on previous knowledge and skills that the students have. Here's another task with learner product based on art. Describe and create or build and interpret your own or a fellow student's piece of art. Insert your interpretation in an object for visitors to read and maybe guide your visitors at the gallery. Here's another one for discussion skills leading to writing and learning through teaching peers. Like describe the plantation of your top veranda. This student has made a top veranda in their building construction. What are the advantages and disadvantages of homemade produce? This is going to be very popular from now on in our world. Insert your ideas in a print with a script to give note cards to visitors. It's an ecological building. This is a picture of the English Language and History Mansion on the ELT Treasure Island. You don't need to have a whole island to help your students focus on the literature of and history of the language, just a building can inspire them with games and activities, or with films and extracts that you are allowed to use in film boards. So they can go in world with their avatars, watch a film, play a game using a timer, and practice at any time. Yes, this is another sample task that students were given to find what supplies they would take on a trip on their houseboat. Real-life simulations based on informal speaking, like, you know, a friend is coming for tea, go to the ferry cottage, role play. Yes, I'm
Helena,
finishing.
I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm finishing. If you want to find more ideas based on our previous presentations, this will be available, and you can always refer to EVO sessions or SL MOOCs or SL language conferences in the past. There are some more useful links based on European Union projects that were initiated by Heike. My references are always available if you want. Thank you very much for attending. It was great pleasure having you here. If you do have any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch. This is my email, or you can visit Agogipedia, where you can find more information about my activity in virtual worlds. Thank you very much.
Many, many thanks, Helena, for your dedication and your wonderful work in OpenSim.
It's always a pleasure. I love doing this.
And can you answer
Very
some
productive.
questions they were asking? One of them was, can I get the links from your slides, please? And so if you could answer in text chat. And we have Annalisa come up and...
Okay, here is the link to my slides in
No. Can you answer in text chat? And we stop the recording here, and then you just answer in text chat. We don't have time for question and answers, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Can you switch off your webcam as well?
Certainly. Thank you.